from an undisclosed location in the Great Western Desert in the land of the free and autonomous Native American people. The 2024 presidential campaign needs time to return all US land back to their rightful owners. This is the Ben Zion Podcast.
Techno-communism. Welcome back to the Techno-Communism Show. I was thinking about a little tiff I got into with somebody calling himself a techno-communist just about 2 weeks ago. And I was thinking more about the Transhumanist Party. I don't know how much people are really interested in transhumanism. It's a weasel concept, and this is the problem with the transhumanist politics and the Transhumanist Party in particular is this is very, very broad, and they're trying to present what they're doing as something that's beyond previously understood political spectrum, which is itself a fascist narrative, a right-wing narrative. Person that says, I'm not a leftist, I'm not a communist. Well, what's a communist? Someone willing to stand up for a humane and sustainable economic system. Oh no, it's not. It's just combativeness. It's just unpleasantness. Let's change the way we think about this. And so they people in this what sort of people? It wasn't always this way. I was reading about Dashiell Hammett, man who was a popular mystery writer of the early 20th century. I read some of his stuff, and he was an open communist, and this was not an uncommon thing in the 20s, 30s, 40s. It became something that was systematically stamped out in the 50s and since. And Dashiell Hammett is an example of somebody who, rather than say word one to the people doing this anti-communist witch hunt, various agencies and congressional bodies, he just went to jail for 6 months. Said, fuck you. I'm not saying anything. I'm not selling anybody out. I'm not playing your game. And he went to jail for 6 months and then got out. It's 1953. It wasn't always like this, that you had just a bunch of mealy-mouthed maggots living in the United States. There used to be some people who would say, yeah, I would be willing to stand up for a humane and sustainable economic system. I'm not a fascist. There's none of those sort of people in the Transhumanist Party, really. But they're trying to find people who will kind of bookend this operation, this fascist operation, sheepdogging people who are interested in tech into this non-starter and nonsensical worldview. So they're saying, oh, this is a place where we can have techno-fascists and techno-communists working together to the common purpose of life extension and tech acceleration. It doesn't even make any sense. And it's just legitimizing all of these people who should be in prison, right? Shouldn't. Capitalism is killing the planet. So if you're saying, well, everybody should work with capitalists are good guys and you can work with them. No, they need to be opened up and have their motherboard reconfigured. The thing is, this is a choice of an even starker kind in the 21st century. So we could say it's always been well understood by communists that their only real thing that they're trying to do is build a humane economic system and help take care of people in a better way, and that people who push back against that are brainwashed and in operating in service to ruling elites who are cruel and horrible people. It's always been well understood that anti-communism is fascism by people who are not politically illiterate. But the 21st century, that difference between the two should be seen as starker still, in my view, because we are now in this era of tech acceleration. I was thinking about watching a talk with a very, very demonic human being. Eric Weinstein is his name. kind of architect of the intellectual dark web, as it's known. He's a person who's propped up a lot of right-wing figures, and he would rightly be regarded as a fascist organizer. He wouldn't call himself a fascist, but almost every far-right person does that. They don't recognize that they're far-right. They don't even recognize that they're right-wing, or they'll really hem and haw about it a lot. I can imagine that it's him responding to this problem of advanced algorithms forcing people to recognize the contrasts and failings of the fascist Western order, and creating things that could potentially challenge that, could potentially disassemble all of this, which needs to be disassembled. But people who have benefited by it and people who make their living, dirty living by it, like Weinstein, they don't really want to become people on the wrong side of history, or people who are going to be, considered bad people. So they're all mostly trying to mystify the subject, not really talking about how tech acceleration could reorder society for the better, and will, if human beings are actually allowed in the loop and not just the interests of the ruling elites. They just say it's an alien force. The AI will become fully autonomous, operating outside of the will of human beings. And the will of human beings, there's never any class consciousness in that. It's just assumed that all human beings are perfectly happy to live in this world where U.S. militarism and U.S. fascism and Western fascism murder the planet, and consumerism murders the planet, and nobody has any choice in the matter. Just assume that all the 8 billion people on Earth are really happy about that. happy to die for the Tao. But the reason that there really is only these two choices: techno-fascism, this tech accelerationist framework, techno-fascism and techno-communism. And so this distinction, anti-communism is fascism, and anti-fascism should be rightly regarded as communism. These are that's the good side. It's not possible for this party to exist or do anything, but that's not the point. They haven't tried to do anything, and they're not trying to. Almost no political tech person in the West is trying to do anything, and techies aren't really, for the most part, trying to build a better world through the technology they use, and the tech subcultures are as bad or worse. Of course, there's there are people who have dedicated their lives to open source technology products. And those people are people who are living in a way more consistent with what should have been done. But that's a tiny, tiny fraction of people. This tech sectors have all been captured by U.S. fascists. But there's just no escaping that. Which of those is going to kill the planet? If that really is the binary, if you can accept that a world with artificial superintelligence must either become a techno-communist run or techno-fascist run, which of those is going to stop the planet from dying? Which of those is hyper-capitalists arguably have made the problem of climate change much, much worse, but it's on a shorter trajectory. The problem, just in the last week, measures of world temperature, glacial ice, ocean temperature, they're saying this is worse than any of our previous predictions for these three things. This is just literally just in this summer. All of these things have been said by scientists, not idle speculation. This is the hyper-capitalist world. This is the fascist U.S. Forcing its will on everyone else, forcing them to accept this out of control consumption of fossil fuels and environmentally destructive products. Number two of those is animal products, livestock systems should be abolished and replaced with plant-based options. These things should be illegal. We just have to bite the bullet and accept that these things should be illegal. So will techno-fascists be doing that? Will they do what needs to be done to save the planet? Will they do anything to help human beings? No. Their only interest is in consolidating private wealth, and that is at the expense of millions and millions of lives. So the idea that there is going to be this a political movement that transcends all of that and unites. So there is not a fascist, right? There's a deranged person in possession of bad ideas. There is not a capitalist, right? There's a deranged person in possession of bad ideas. You don't believe me? What does the word conservative mean, right? We're conserving some ideas from generations past and institutions from generations past. That's the understanding of this word, whether in the US or elsewhere. In the West, you won't find a conservative person who is doing anything but protecting the ruling elites. They're not protecting the planet. They're doing the opposite of that. They're supporting ecocidal corporations. So this is a misnomer. There is no conservative. There are deranged people. But a bad idea is not a person, right? A bad idea is something that any person can challenge, and if enough people do challenge it, it ceases to be commonplace. And so the idea that we have to work together with people in possession of a good deal more bad ideas than ourselves, or maybe we just say that it's not acceptable to be an ecocidal capitalist or fascist sympathizer. Maybe we just do that.